Hello everybody, welcome back to some Halo. We have, I think, eliminated everybody here. And, oh, never mind, as soon as I say that I start getting shot at. But yeah, just trying to get into here maybe, or down there. I actually have no idea. Oh, hello. Hello everybody, how you doing? I think we eliminated everybody here immediately. Doors open up, more guys come out, get shot at. That's about how it is, though, you know? That's just how it goes. Sleeping on the job. These guys are, you know, it's weird because it's like... It's a pretty serious game, but also then you have all this comic relief with these guys, you know? That's just how the times were, though, you know? It was kind of like, you know, that World of Warcraft, like, noise and stuff like that. Like, it was supposed to be, like, a pretty serious, you know, oh, it's a war, and there's, you know, factions and stuff versus each other, and you have to do quests and all this death and destruction. But, you know, there's, like, a lot of comic relief in that, too. And there's a lot of games later on that took themselves very, very seriously. And I'm glad this one didn't take itself, like, too seriously, but also has some serious moments in it, too. You know, now I think people kind of don't have that humorous side where it's like, they need their immersion, you know? Obviously, there are exceptions and things like that, but... Oh. Okay. But it does suck, 'cause like some games kind of lose their soul, you know, when it just makes it too serious. Also, like, you know, I can see people wanting their immersion and stuff, but not for every single thing. I mean, why everything, you know? Why everything? Why not just something? Alright, let's see. You, my friend, Mohawk Lizard, you're dead. Is that an enemy? What is that? I went to reload instead of weapon bash. It's good stuff. I am. Whoops. What is that up there? I think it's a dead guy. Oh, look, there's ammo right when I needed it. Excellent. It's a dead guy. That's actually wild, though. He's up on the pillar, on the pedestal. Oh, there's another guy right there. Okay. But again, you know, why are they in here? How did they breach before I breached? Unless this is a place that was taken over. And maybe I just missed it. Maybe this was a place that used to be ours and it was taken over. But I don't think it was. I think this is always Covenant stuff. Yeah, I think I'm just... I'll take it. Like I say, I don't mind finding some ammo on the floor here and there, but... a little bit strange. You, my friend, will have to die. Alright, where do I go here? Go towards the chaos. Oh my god. Somebody shooting? Somebody is shooting. At what, though? Guy was just shooting a wall. That is a weird primitive thing in this game. A lot of the AIs kind of like track through the walls and everything. Yeah, those guys are kind of fun to mow down, as morbid as that might be. Do I have to do anything with this? It looks special, but it's not. needles. I don't remember what we were actually playing. Maybe is there a co-op campaign in this? Because maybe that's what me and the friends were playing when I discovered this game. Because I was, you know, I have no idea. I know we were all playing together. It could have been multiplayer. I don't know. I think it must have been multiplayer because I think all of us were playing. I have no idea. I don't know. You know what's sad? And this is a very real feeling, but like, as I get older and technology advances and changes, every decade that goes by, I think, man, I can't believe that technology existed in that decade. And then there was a point where I was looking at that technology and going, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. This is so advanced. And now I'm like, huh. It seems so primitive, but also so incredible that they had this fun. Like, I'm thinking about multiplayer specifically right now. And I'm like, man, they really put that multiplayer in. But I'm like, nah, dude, like 6 or 7 years before that, GoldenEye had the, you know, the multiplayer in there. So they're the ones that started it, you know, pretty much like that multiplayer engine where all the objectives were like free for all or teams or whatever. You know, they started... I'm sure there's other multiplayer games and stuff at the time, and maybe a little before, but like to really make it, you know, popularized on console and everything like that. You know, there's of course Quake and all that shit as well, but like, for some reason, I was thinking about multiplayer on the Xbox, and I'm like, man, they really had that in at the time. Yeah, it wasn't a new concept. It was not even close to a new concept, in fact. So. I don't know, you look at some of that technology and you think, oh, I thought that was a door. Like, wow, how did they think of this, or how did they do this, or I can't believe it's like this. And really, I mean, I think that comes with the territory of how far games came in a short period of time. Like, I've always talked about this, but like, NES was a huge jump from, you know, what they had before. You know, Atari and all that. And then Super Nintendo was a massive improvement on that. And then the 64 era came, and that was just an even more massive improvement, a 3D landscape, you know? And then this generation came out, and they perfected that 3D landscape, you know? And it was just such a huge leap. So you have basically like, what, 20-year span maybe, where... they just went leaps and bounds from a couple pixels on your screen to, you know, full color, to vibrant colors, to 3D landscapes, to freaking what we're playing right now. In basically like 15 to 20 years. And that might even be generous. I mean, because it might even be less of a time frame. But, I mean, if you think about where we came from the Super Nintendo to... you know, the Xbox, when that came out and everything. I mean, my God, like, we're talking about, you know, 10, 11 years, essentially, to just absolutely perfect this technology. And, you know, since then, all we've done is basically, like, okay, games look better, games run a little better, you could put more stuff, you know, it's easier to access games and things like that. Not a whole lot, you know, motion controls are kind of a thing still, but not really. So I don't know, it's just mind-blowing to think that so much happened in such a short period of time. And our generation, like, you know, we got to experience such a huge boom in technology. It's mind-blowing. And then it's just, that's why, you know, this whole thing started, this whole conversation, where it's like, okay, so how in the last 10 years have I already, like, forgotten that feeling? And I look at this game and think, man, how did they have that back then? Because I was experiencing it firsthand. So, I don't know. It's just wild to think about. Especially because I don't really do a whole lot with the console anymore besides play retro games. You know, everything's on the PC or Steam or whatever. Stuff getting re-released. Oh, yeah, you're going to have to eat that. Thank you. Is there another one over here? There must be. Oh, there we go. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god. I have 6 bullets. Is there just a random Marine around here somewhere? Oh god. Yeah, see ya. Alright. Wow. We have made it. I think the music kind of tells you like where things are going when they're getting a little more intense and stuff. I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation. It's one I love looking back at, too. Which is probably why I talk about it so much. I just think it's so incredible. And, you know, it's hard not to be, like, sad and nostalgic for a time like that where everything... Wonderful. All right. Let's try that again. It's hard not to be nostalgic for a time that, you know, used to exist. And we used to know, and everything was amazing, and everything was incredible. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and, you know, I mean, dude, stuff like freaking the old school Pizza Hut restaurants, you know, with the salad bar and all that. Stuff like that. I mean, you don't get more nostalgic than that stuff, right? And it's just because that feeling, that excitement, that like, oh my god, I'm here. And I didn't care, you know, I just ate. Just had a good time. Didn't care about calories or diets or health or anything, you know? And that's what people miss more than the time itself, I think. I think it's just that carefree, youthful attitude. It has nothing to do with what... Because every single one of us, every generation, before and after us, looks back at their childhood and their youth and think, man, those were the good days. They're not thinking of, you know, political stuff. They're not thinking of anything. I mean, they might add stuff on, but they're not being serious, you know? I mean, because that, as a child, you're not going to think about politics and stuff like that. You're literally just fucking playing games and not worrying about what you're eating and drinking and just, you know, enjoying life. That's why I think it's so, like... Oh, active camo? Yeah, let's go. That's why I think it's so tied to, yeah, let me get that thing. Youth and everything. I mean, obviously the times were good, too, but I think you could say that about any generation or any decade, you know, if you are just in a good spot, if you're not thinking about anything horrible, which, you know, yeah, it goes without saying, but I think a lot of times people, you know, okay, forget that that's literally how it is, you know? It's like, oh, no, it was just because, like... Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, I think people forget, like, it really doesn't have to do as much with, Ooh, is that a Space Marine? Space Marine. What am I playing, Doom? It just has to do with, like, you know, not having the responsibilities and stuff. And I'm a guy where... Oops. I don't mind having responsibilities. I don't mind taking care of things. I definitely want to live in the moment and enjoy the moment, because I do think that years ago, I was kind of like, man, I'm never going to have those high school experiences again. It's over. You know, I loved high school. I'm never going to have those, you know, in my great-grandmother's basement playing 64 for the first time moments, you know. Like, that's over. But you can make new moments like that. You can make them with your family, with your friends. You know, and so that's kind of like where I'm at with that now. It's like, okay, that's what it's all about, living in the moment. Because that feeling, you can feel that feeling from both angles. Like, I like to receive that feeling of excitement and like, oh, this is cool, I can't believe this. But I also like to give that feeling as well, because you can kind of experience it from the other side. I mean, my parents were very happy when they got that 64 and they were able to jump in and play some games too, because they liked games, you know? They were amazed at what they were seeing. Damn. Oh, Jesus, there's another one. I fell. Okay, great. Oh, I'm back here. God, come on, dude. Not like this. All right, guys, we'll pick this up next time. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being my friends. I love you. I appreciate you, and I cannot thank you enough for all you do. Have a damn good one, y'all.